Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Investing Bros. You guys, I have a new set right now. I think camera and stuff will increase in the future, but told you guys I was going to be getting a new set so I could get out of the office. So if anyone who had to walk in, because there's a room with other people in there, didn't get disrupted. But welcome. I would love to have come in today with a lot of positivity, with a lot of gumption, a lot of that big, warm, happy, welcome to Investing Bros. It's not the day to do that. This is the first time I will get to be on camera since everything happened. T-Shroom did a great job yesterday. Everything he said was perfect, eloquent. It was the right way of doing everything. And I want you guys to know with this show, it's going to be a different show today. We can't just move on like nothing happened. We're still going to talk crypto. We're still going to talk news. But I have a lot I have to talk about today. And what really sucks about all this is when this stuff happens, there's so many people just looking for attention. They want to make it about themselves. They want to make it about what can I do to benefit from the downfall of somebody else. And that's not what we're going to do here. Now, T-Shroom hit it right on the nail, guys. We're not going to talk details. I'm going to talk about the situation. I'm going to talk about my feelings and what's going on in my life and give you guys an update about, what, as the title says, like, where do we go from here? But we're not going to talk details. We're not going to go hard on somebody and light on somebody and try to paint a picture that makes you feel like you have to choose a side. And, that's another thing that's just been really disgusting through this whole process is the internet taking this and choosing sides and saying that you have to be for this person and against this person or vice versa, when in reality there are hundreds of lives right now that are personally going through a lot. And then there's thousands of lives of you guys who you have no idea what's going on. You are spectators, but you've been involved in crypto YouTube for a long time, and you feel like you've been a part of these people's lives, and now you're seeing things just wrenched apart and ripped apart, and you don't know what to do with it. So it's hard. And we're going to deal with it as best as we can. Again, we're not talking details today. So if you came because you thought Tim's going to unload the dirt, Tim's going to reveal all the details, guys, that's not this show. That's not the Investing Bros. That's not going to happen. I do think you guys are going to get details. I don't know when. I don't know how. I don't know who. I don't know what that'll exactly look like. But it's not going to come from here. So I'm going to get into it here in just a little bit. I'm going to talk a lot. I got a lot of things to say today, guys. But I am joined by my good friend, my amazing co-host, T-Shroom from down in Gainesville, who, in all this chaos, T-Shroom, you have a hurricane coming your way tomorrow. How are you doing?
Great. All the water shelves are bare in the Publix that I usually go to. I noticed that after the fact because I was just popping out to get some butter to cook some cookies last night. But I had already gone to the dollar store to fill up on water, of which there was plenty. There was water aplenty at the dollar store, which is just a data point to prove that the rational consumer does not exist. That the shelves are bare at the place where water is expensive, and it's completely filled where the water is very cheap. So, yeah, the rational consumer does not exist. Thought I'd give that one, but I'm doing well. This
True.
is I've been through many a hurricane. I've lived in this house for a while through a couple of different hurricanes, and the trees, all the dead limbs would have already fallen. And I've gotten all the stuff off the front porch. Went and bought some tuna packets just in case we have to barricade ourselves in the house for a while. But usually the local utilities and waste removal are on site. I've even thought about volunteering for some of that stuff, but I don't know exactly what my schedule is going to look like right now. So
Yeah, very true. Well, T-Shroom, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we have a show this morning. I'm looking at chat, reading chat. Love you guys. I see somewhere, listen, someone says, and I don't even care. I don't care if you guys lead the stream. Banter, I guess, is going live, and he's going to talk about it. Here's what I can tell you guys. Banter does not know the details. So if you think you're going to get details, you might get more speculation. You might get some opinions, and you might get some more rumors, and you might get some this and that. But the only people who know what is happening right now, that know the details, are people at HitNetwork, Bitboy, Ben Armstrong himself, and God. And a lot of people are going to claim they know what's going on. A lot of people are going to say that they have it all figured out, and nobody knows. And here's the other thing, guys. Like, I have not been in production in YouTube for 50 years. I don't, and YouTube's not that old anyway. I've only been in it for about 3 and some change. But I know enough to know, even if the truth came out right now, even if I said every single word of what was happening, or someone from HitNetwork said every single word, or Ben said every single word, there still would be question marks and speculation, and you're not sure who you can trust and who you can't trust. And so I really do caution everybody, like, when you hear things. I know Ben's making a statement today. I heavily encourage people to hear Ben. Everyone deserves to hear sides and try to decide for themselves what's going on. But how would you ever know? How would you ever actually know what's actually happening? There's a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about today, and it's going to circulate this entire topic. I want to start, T-Shroom. I want to start by just reading. This is the statement that was made yesterday by TJ. Go share my screen. We tweeted out the equivalency. I think it's not the exact wording, but yesterday, BJ Investment Holdings, the parent company of HitNetwork, took decisive legal action in removing Ben Armstrong from the company, and specifically the Bitboy crypto brand. This is a difficult decision, and it's a culmination of a prolonged effort to help Ben during his relapse into substance abuse, as well as reconcile the emotional, physical, and financial damage he has done to the employees of HitNetwork and the Bitboy crypto community. The Bit Squad deserves better, and we are going to get through this together. We wish him the best and regret that it has come to this, and are hopeful for the future of Bitboy crypto. Get back to Brocam. There's a lot in that statement. There's a lot going around the internet. The details can't, it's not my place to say details. I do want people to know that I love Ben Armstrong. When I took this job, a lot of you guys know I'm the brand manager of Bitboy Crypto. I love being here in Investing Bros community. This is me and T-Shroom. Me and T-Shroom are the full owners of Investing Bros. Investing Bros is not a HitNetwork channel. This is me and T-Shroom, and we continue to just be overwhelmed and grateful for how amazing you guys are in this community. I do believe the Investing Bros community is one of the most tight-knit, most uplifting, most empowering, most educative communities. And I'm not just talking about that because I think that myself and T-Shroom and Piper are brilliant. I think we are good at what we do, but it's you guys. You guys come together and you make this special. But I'm also part of the Bit Squad community. I have a job that, pays the bills and takes care of my wife and my new son with HitNetwork. A lot of things were speculated yesterday. Is Tim still with HitNetwork? I wasn't on the show. Did Tim go with Ben? Is Tim going to still stay with HitNetwork? Is Tim's job secure?
a lot of people asking that.
Yeah. So I'll speak to that. Yeah, I'm with HitNetwork. I am still the Bitboy crypto brand manager. When I took the job in May, when I came up here and interviewed, I want you guys to know, there was a lot of reasons why I said yes. And some people are going to think it's like, oh, yeah, no, why wouldn't you say yes? Like, it's the largest channel. Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, the opportunity to work as the brand manager of the largest channel in crypto, that's amazing. You don't get that opportunity every single day. But I also got to meet Ben. And I like Ben, and I love Ben. And to be able to work with Ben was not just special from a job opportunity, but I thought that really, really, I would have a part in playing in the future of helping people throughout the world using cryptocurrency and digital currency to change their lives forever. I also met TJ, the CEO of the company. TJ is one of the greatest people I've ever met. TJ is one of the closest friends that I've made here at HitNetwork. And I love him. And I love Ben. And I'm new here, guys. You know, I didn't, for anything that's gone on over the last few years, I'll have to just say from my side, when I'm reading the statement, guys, I've heard stories. I've heard things around the office that break my heart for the employees here. I always felt loved by Ben. I always felt accepted. Didn't get to spend a lot of one-on-one time with Ben necessarily outside of work, but I did enjoy working with him. But at the same time, I love TJ. I love HitNetwork. I said in the intro, the hatred on the internet right now, telling people they have to choose sides, is terrible. Because these are two great men. Neither one of them are perfect in their lives. Both of them, even when I interviewed, and this is public information, so I'm not releasing anything, they both have had histories where they've struggled with things in life. And both had stories of overcoming it, and it's inspiring and it's awesome. That doesn't make any person perfect. And I'm not here speculating about the details that everyone's spreading on the internet. I'm sitting here saying there are two great men that are, both of them, going through a lot right now. Not a single person wants, loves, or enjoys what is happening right now. For a while, people have been reaching out to Ben, you know. People attacking TJ, saying, you know, what is he doing this for? You know, I can't tell you how hard TJ has worked to love and take care of and control Ben. And also, again, I'm not talking about details here, guys. But if you knew some of the details, and you knew what TJ could do if he really wanted to, but his choice to hold back and not do those things because of his love for Ben Armstrong, you guys can't understand it. And you won't understand it because you're not here. You're not in the details. I think details will come out and people will continue to make their own opinions. But the point is, nobody knows what's going on right now. And to choose sides and to say that you have to hate one and love the other, and there's no option to love both, is just a wrong statement. Now, as far as Bitboy Crypto is concerned, guys, I'm the brand manager. I work here. This is my job, to continue to grow that brand, to communicate with the community, to help it get better. You can't replace Ben Armstrong. It's not going to happen. When people say no Ben, no show, it's a little much, but I understand. Ben Armstrong was Bitboy. Ben Armstrong is a special, and he is still a special human to the crypto community, and I believe still here on this planet. And I'm praying every single day for Ben. This last week, well, I pray every week. I feel like it's like 1,000 times as much prayer this last week over Ben, his family, over this channel, over the decisions that had to be made that had to be made. And you might not understand that, but they had to be made. I'm praying for miracles to happen, for reconciliation to happen, for peace and love and healing. And, you know, it's hard. It's hard to have hope that it'll actually happen, but it can. But the hatred on the internet is not part of that. People trying to speculate about what's going on and saying you have to love one and hate the other, that's not going to be a part of that. There's a long road ahead that everybody involved has to deal with. But miracles can still happen. As far as, now moving on, like addressing issue, Tim, why weren't you on the show yesterday? Why weren't you on the Ben show? I was, the co-host on the Bitboy show. So whether it was DZ hosting or Ben hosting or sometimes Nick hosted, I was more of a constant in that side role. Spread a lot of other rumors. I saw people in the comments saying that Tim was leaving to start a new channel with Ben. It's not true. But the big one, and of course, we knew it was going to happen, the accusations about who I am and my role in what's happened this last weekend. And I want to be there for not only this community, but also I want to be there for the Bit Squad. But due to some, accusations of who I am in the past, TJ, loving me, said, Tim, I can't put you on camera and have you subjected to that. Because even though I wasn't on camera, that was the speculation by some. You guys know, before working here and before starting Investing Bros, I used to work with Crypto Jeb. At first, I was just a co-host. And then during a really rough time in his life where he had a lot of personal stuff going on, I took over the show for a little bit. And then Jeb came back and took back over the show. And a lot of crazy things were said. A lot of crazy things were accused. I have never fully addressed the accusations against me because I didn't think I needed to. Because when you actually look at them, Jeb didn't even make an accusation against me. And people are going to be shocked by that. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Jeb and I definitely had disagreements. What led to me and Jeb separating was two people working on a channel that had different ideas about where the channel would go. But Jeb was the 100% owner. Jeb had every right to do whatever he wanted to do. What I made as a personal choice was that the decisions Jeb wanted to do, I didn't feel like I was a part of that company and I needed to step away. Of course, you guys know Jeb came out and said that somebody tried to take his company. And because I was the person on camera, because I was the one who filled in when he needed to step away for a little bit, everybody just jumped on the bandwagon that it was me. And I can tell you guys right now, that was hard on me personally. That's part of the reason why there was even some more question marks about what mine and Jeb's relationship looked like. And I'm going to address that in a second. It was hard on my family. But I decided, you know what? I know that's not me. I know that's not what he's referring to. And I know that if I just speak on this right now, I'll cause chaos. And the truth is, me not saying anything about it and not addressing it, it kind of went away. People stopped talking about it. The Investing Bros started doing well. I started doing well personally. Jeb came back and is doing a fantastic job running his channel. We're talking about Ben being a special person in the crypto space. Jeb McAfee is a special person in the crypto space. And even though there were some personal things there, I was very happy to see him come back. I felt like the crypto space needed him. When he had to step away the first time and ask me to take over, that was hard because I knew the world would miss Jeb. But anyway, getting back into what I'm saying, the accusations that people have just run with on the internet, because the internet's ruthless and I get it, those weren't true. And if you go back and watch, Jeb never says it was Tim. Could he have addressed it a little differently? Yeah, he could have. He didn't, and that's fine. So I want you guys to know, Jeb and I still talk. Jeb and I were like brothers. In case you guys didn't know, Jeb and I were pretty much best friends when he hired me to come and help him run his company. And while Jeb and I don't talk every single day, and we maybe don't have everything to do in life, and I don't know if me and Jeb are, going to go on family vacations or anything together, we love each other. And we've been talking. He doesn't know details. You guys know he made a video yesterday about the Ben situation. I thought it was a great video. I thought Jeb handled it with grace and honor and had a great point that I agree with 100%. But him and I get to talk. We did get to talk. Just reaffirming how much we love each other. I would love for him to come on the channel at some point. It's hard with him having a family, a young family. He has 2 kids now. One is his biological child. The other is his adopted child, which is amazing. And he has another show he puts on. So it's really hard to coordinate that. But I want you guys to know I didn't try to steal Jeb's channel. Jeb didn't even say I tried to steal his channel. I'm not even getting to the details of that. But the reason why I think this is important is because these accusations coming back up, you know, people saying that I tried to steal Jeb's channel and now I'm doing it again with Bitboy. I'm not just denying it because it hurts me, it hurts my family, but it hurts the investing bros. It hurts people at HitNetwork, and it's just not true. No one can replace Ben Armstrong. We're going to move on with the Bitboy brand, and we're going to move on, and we're going to continue to make amazing crypto content. And I don't know if the channel name is going to change from Bitboy Crypto. I don't know the legal and, you know, sponsorship relationship details there. I'm not here to speculate on that. What I can tell you is that no one will replace Ben Armstrong, and we're not even going to attempt to do it. We're going to attempt to move on. We're going to attempt to rebuild. And Lord willing, a miracle can happen, and redemption and peace and reconciliation happens, and maybe Ben Armstrong comes back to Bitboy. I don't know. I can't promise that. I can't say one way or the other. I don't know. That's what I hope for. That's what I pray for. That's what I would desire. But I don't know. And this is a time in the space right now, and this is what I talked with Jeb about yesterday. And if you guys go back and watch his video, he references this. What just happened this weekend? Well, I think it needed to happen. Nobody wanted it to happen, but I think it needed to happen. I'm not lost on the fact that it blew up. It blew up Ben's life. It blew up TJ's life. It blew up every single life of the people that work at HitNetwork. It blew up every single life of the people related to people connected to HitNetwork. And it blew up the life of thousands of people who found hope in Bitboy Crypto, who were educated by Bitboy Crypto, who planned their entire day around the Bitboy Crypto show. Some people hated Ben. Some people loved Ben. But he was a pinnacle part of the entire community. And if anyone believes that anyone here at HitNetwork is rejoicing at what's happening right now, you are so mistaken. In fact, the only people happy right now about this entire situation are people that hate Ben Armstrong. And they're not who I consider an ally. I'm not sitting here trying to gain supporters or contrasters or whatever the word is there. Like, I'm not here to create sides. I'm here because this is a time for love and community and unity. And that's what Jeb and I talked about. He says it throughout his entire video yesterday. We don't know, you know. While I know details, you don't know that I know details. You don't know what those details are. Everyone deserves to be heard. I want every single detail to come. Well, I want details to come to light for peace. I want details to come to light so that people can understand and forgive and love and move forward. And what's really sad is that crypto can be such a beautiful thing that changes this world for good. And I'm very aware that what has happened this weekend is very hard for the entire crypto community. It's hard for crypto. People on the outside will look at this and continue to speculate on what this means for crypto being legitimate. And it has nothing to do with that. These are some individuals, very real people whose lives are being turned upside down. And this is a time for people to choose love, to choose unity, to put differences aside as best as they can, to come together, not on sides, not on him versus him, her versus her, love this person, hate the other, but to understand that this is a massive space with massive implications and nothing should be taken lightly. I love every single one of you. You know, I know we have a lot of new faces here listening, watching. I want you guys to know it's a very common thing on YouTube to say smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, but if you choose to do so, that's up to you. That's not what this is about. And I know there's going to be a lot of people who watch this, and they'll have opinions on this, and they'll go circles around this. I'm not speaking to anyone with ill intent who's just on the internet to troll and make mockery and to create chaos. I'm here to speak to real people who really care, who really love Ben, who really love TJ, who really love us, who really love this entire community and are confused and hurt and lost and broken. I want you to know that we love you and we're here and we're going to move through and we are going to move on. And I don't know what that looks like. Because again, this is big. This is shaking to the entire field of crypto. And I can't just continue on with normal shows like it's nothing. We'll have to. You know, a lot of people, this is, you know, as I'm kind of closing up here, and we're going to get into the show a little bit here, talk about the crypto market. Not a lot's changed in the crypto market, guys. Especially nothing in comparison to this. I urge you guys to choose peace and choose understanding and choose patience over the next little bit. The way it was handled, I mean, I know a lot of people did not like the way things were handled yesterday. I'm not even going to say what I think about how things were handled yesterday. I'll say if nothing had been said, you guys would have said that they weren't open and honest. Some of you think they weren't honest enough. Some of you think they shouldn't have aired out anything. Some of you think it should have been TJ. Some of you think it shouldn't have been TJ. Some of you think they should have done a normal show. Some of you think they were inappropriate with moving on. There's going to be so many things that people can say, should have done, should have done, should have done, should have done, should have done. How does anyone know what to do right now? How can you blame anyone for either pausing and trying to process this or doing the best they can to move on and to keep going and to push through? And you guys don't think, you know, here, I'll just speak to, you know, my friends, and you don't think that DZ and Nick saw chat yesterday as they were doing their best they can to just move through this? You don't think that affects them? You honestly think that they're heartless? You think that after working with Ben Armstrong for years, they're just moving on and not even address? You think that that's where they're at? You can think whatever you want, but I can tell you with 100% honesty, this is not easy for a single person in this building. And this sucks.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good time to look into some of these super chats here. We had one just recently from Matt C. Said, my man, and then a heart, which is extremely welcomed, you know. And then and he donated $19.99. And then we also had a super chat from Curtis Rorick, who, if you'll go over to my screen, he made a reference to a verse. Turn off some of these little animations here for the moment. Said a verse, James 1:2-4, be reading from the NIV. Says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. That's definitely a really good thought. For right now, it's just keeping your head down, doing the work that needs to be done, and keep doing the hard thing. Keep doing the hard thing because it's the right thing, no matter what other people say. And it's definitely not easy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for those super chats, Curtis Rourke and Matt C. Obviously, if you guys are tuning into the channel for the first time, this is you're probably tuning in, to hear kind of what's going on in the crypto influencer world, and I think you've probably gotten an expanded perspective today, and that's good. But I want you to continue to be respectful in the chat, guys. I'm so proud of what I'm seeing in the chat. It's just nothing but people are definitely sharing their opinions, but it's all very, for the most part, like measured and thoughtful and supportive. And I think that this is a moment. I think Jeb said it pretty well in his video.
Yeah.
Where a lot of folks are watching, including TradFi, right? They're seeing, there's a bunch of craziness going on in the crypto world, and some of them are maybe tuning in and they're seeing, instead of angry faces, they're seeing hearts. And instead of division, they're seeing a decent amount of unity. And that can go a long way to, some fund managers who are considering, distributing into crypto, to see a community that comes together. Just a thought. I got another super chat here from Mark Joe. It's $2 saying stay strong, y'all. So definitely appreciate that. That is the sentiment here that's going to carry us through to the other side, of which there will be a greener pasture on the other side, but you got to go through some tough parts to get there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move on. I've gotten to say a lot today. Thank you for everybody being here and supporting. And yeah, let's take a look at some charts. T-shirt.
Do it.
We're here on Bitcoin, guys. So I told you in the intro, nothing's happened. Nothing at all is happening in Bitcoin. In fact, we pretty much are looking at a heartbeat ever since back here on August 17th, since that big drop down in 25.2. And even more so, we labeled these targets here a while ago, how you're looking at these levels between 26.8 and 27,000. You're looking down here for support between 25, 350, maybe all the way down to 25,250. The reason for that is, we dropped down. This is the wick here on Coinbase. It came all the way to that lower level. Almost immediately on the hourly chart, rebounded, set this first level here at 27,000. We traded a couple days later, came back down, didn't get quite as low, went to the 25.3. So now that's what solidifies our support range, came back up, retested 26.8. That solidifies our resistance range. I drew this blue line as the middle point. I drew this line back here, guys, and look at the price just hovering. It's not support, it's not resistance, that's just the middle. It tells you how little volatility is happening in Bitcoin. We are waiting for news. We're waiting for what does Jerome Powell say at the next speech. Speaking of, let's take a look at that. We're still expecting a pause at this point. So really bright screen, change up. You guys see my face. Ooh, it's a dark room, and that's a bright screen. 78.5% still saying we're going to pause, but we're increasing the chances we're looking at here of seeing a rate hike probably maybe in November. Let's see what November's saying. November's predicting a rate hike, 52%, compared to only 36 saying pause, 11% saying 50 basis point rate hike. December thinks we're going to then, if we haven't raised already, we're going to raise once more, or at least pause at 550 to 575, and then we start our transition. January's paused, and we get a cut in March back down to where we currently are at the time of making this video. Whole point, we're shifting. And to be fair, Bitcoin not dropping is actually kind of a positive sign. But we still have to watch. Let's see what Jerome Powell says. Let's see what CPI numbers are. They're going to be coming out early in September. I think the second week of September. That'll have a large impact on what's happening. You guys know, I've talked about this for a little while. My personal belief, if there's bad numbers in September, which I don't think there will be, but if there is, I think the price goes down. But don't be surprised if we hit the pause. We don't really hear anything that harsh from Jerome Powell, and somehow we bounce up. It's very common to hit former support levels with turning them into resistance. I believe, we also had a strong level of support here at 28.6. I think it'd be an interesting case to see Bitcoin bounce back up and turn former support into resistance, both from a ascending level and a vertical level or a horizontal level. That's my thoughts. You guys also know that I do believe the bottom is going to be probably more of an October, not new bottoms for bear markets, but bottoms for where Bitcoin is going to be during, I believe, with, just like 2019, a little fall. And I'm keeping my eyes on this level right here, this CME gap we have on Bitcoin futures options that closes down at 19,940. Continue to watch that. A lot of you have heard that before. We'll keep our eyes on what's happening with those charts. But you can see when you kind of zoom in here, nothing. And you can see with the volatility, you're going to get a lot of overboughts, oversold, but nothing is happening here. I think we're leaning towards that bullish nature because when you come out here to the daily chart, which is, a longer time frame, it doesn't really help you know exactly what's going to happen over the next, 12 to 28 hours or whatever, but it gives you some picture. We've had a lot of things saying that we should be bouncing. Oversold with a green triangle. That's a reversal. The MVP oscillator, which is a great oscillator, gives you great times to buy. Nothing's perfect, but great times to buy has just been, it flooded a lot of these days past here saying we were overextended the downside and we should go the upside again. So wouldn't it make sense? By the way, shout out to Chart Prime for this amazing, amazing indicator. Wouldn't it make sense to have a little bullish, come back here, turn this support into resistance, and then either retest 25.2 to make a decision or make that pull down like we've talked about in the past? That's what I'm seeing here on Bitcoin, guys. But you're going to see that's everything. So I can flood through here and just show you guys what's happening. I'll stay on the daily chart because nothing's happening on the hourly chart.
Eric had a good question on the charts.
Yeah.
Super Chat donated $10. Said, Tim, is it possible we escape lower prices just by going sideways long enough?
That's absolutely possible. Absolutely possible that nobody is going to sell their Bitcoin below 25.2. It's possible. I don't think it's likely. I think there's enough money still in the space. I know with all this chaos, we didn't really get to, I don't know what T-Shirt was able to talk about later on in the show yesterday. I had meetings. I wasn't able to watch the show, but BlackRock is clearly using their control and power to manipulate the space. So do they have enough to get it below 25.2? Can they get it down to that lower level? I mean, I know if I'm BlackRock, I'm really wanting to buy some $19,700 Bitcoin. Me personally, Tim Warren, who's not that wealthy, I want to buy some Bitcoin down at 19,700. I want to buy that CME gap. So if they have the power to do it, if they have enough to hit enough sells, they're calculated. They're not going to do it and lose everything. But I think they know what they're doing. I think that they're actually kind of watching this. Like, just so you guys know, like I'm not overwhelmingly excited with this sideways move. I think that when we get a bottom, whether we bounce back up and come back down to 25.2 and that's the bottom, or it's this lower level, I'm not expecting a drag along the bottom. I'm expecting more of a V shape. I'm expecting with the manipulative move, guys, that BlackRock, whoever you want, I was going to say other name, whoever you want to put in this boat, let's call him just Composite Man. If the point is to manipulate price to the downside so they can gain more control, they're not going to do something like this and then let the market just trade sideways. They're going to make it all in one good buy. So they're going to post stories. They're going to see things. You're going to see things come out saying, Bitcoin's in real trouble here, guys. Real trouble. New lows coming. Everyone's selling in fear and anticipation and chaos. And it gets down here and immediately goes, whoop. If I was a betting man, I'm predicting the day that I see price get below 20,000, we're seeing a wick on the daily chart and the candle body close. The candle open going to be somewhere around 22,000. Candle close somewhere between 21,000 and 22,000. That is my expectation for what the bottom of this little pullback looks like, guys. Don't know that 100%, but it's what makes the most sense if your brain is thinking this is a manipulative move. So, the other thing to keep in mind, guys, halving event coming right here, this green line, probably somewhere mid to late April. Historically, the last halving, somewhere right here. Don't count all the stuff that happened with COVID. You kind of get a rally up right before it, a hesitation, maybe a small pullback and rally up. I would not be surprised, guys, with a lot of time left to see some price action, like I just said. pull back up to 28.6 or so, hit that line, kind of trickle, break below this, trickle, 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 dip one day, boom, trickle, 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 make our way up, trickle, trickle, ooh, make a pump. Everyone's excited. Oh, trickle, 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 come back down, regroup, take off. That's what it did back in 2019. So, again, you can't say you never are going to see things move exactly 100% perfectly the same as past, but there's good reason to expect that price action could do exactly that. Because remember, one of the catalysts for explosive movement more than likely is going to be the Bitcoin ETF approval. Well, when do we think we're getting Bitcoin ETF approval? More than likely sometime between December and February. Well, what's right before all that? The halving event. So I think there's going to be a lot of timing things that spark a similar movement to the 4-year cycle that get all this moving in a similar pattern. But yeah, I think that's good. Like I said, Ethereum, it's doing the same thing Bitcoin's doing with this sideways movement. Of course, oversold. Not as much buy as we had on Bitcoin on the daily chart. Cardano, another big one. Of course, the Rare Evo, a Cardano convention. A lot of big stuff happened there. Really exciting. I still think, guys, I'm still kind of sitting and have some money on the side to buy at 18 cents. That's my plan. But again, could we see another pull up? Maybe retest some former support levels. Maybe retest that as resistance. So maybe do we see another 31 cent, 32 cent Cardano and then a pullback? I don't know. Maybe. I still think there's a bigger dip coming, though, later on in October. And again, it's not just because that's what the 4-year cycle would suggest would happen. It's also because of this right here, where September, pause. But we're going to know, October, we're going to know that they're going to start talking about another rate hike. And that alone is going to make the entire market, crypto and stock, traditional finance, kind of have a little bit of a freak out and say, more pain coming, sell out, get into the dollar. And that's where those price dips come. And then, it's the excuse for all these entities like BlackRock who are buying up houses right now. They're going to try to buy up many people's stocks as they can. They are a big believer in Bitcoin. So why not manipulate the space and try to acquire as much Bitcoin as possible? This is the perfect play for them. And if I had a lot of money, I wouldn't do that because I think it's immoral to do it, but it would make sense. So that's my thoughts, guys. I think that's it for TA today. We do have a couple stories not about HitNetwork or Ben Armstrong to talk about. So let's take it away, T-Shroom.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Taking a look here. We've got a couple of stories. Like Tim said, tokenized U.S. Treasuries arrived to XDC network. That is the XDC token and its network as digital bond market grows. So you read that right. Tokenized treasuries of real-world assets such as government bonds could grow as much as $5 trillion in terms of market cap. That's a projection to the future. That's not what it is now. The U.S. Treasury yield tokens represent blockchain-based versions of shares in a U.S. Treasury bond exchange trade fund ETF and are accessible for professional investors on TradeX Yield Tech platform. Tokenized service provider securitize onboard buyers, tracks share ownership, and manages dividend payouts. So pretty cool. This seems like a little bit of a pay-to-play article, meaning this what was it called? TradeX platform, has a lot to gain by this article getting circulated, but it is interesting. It is. I don't know that it's new. I would imagine that there's already tokenized treasuries, but these guys are kind of trying to take it a little more mainstream as those treasuries become a little bit more appealing here, at least the U.S. ones. Well, that's not all. DCG reaches crucial in-principle deal with Genesis creditors. Recoveries could be up to 90%. This won't mean anything if you guys are new to crypto, but essentially, if you were part of Genesis, you're waiting for your money back. The plan could result in recoveries of 70 to 90% USD equivalents for unsecured creditors and 65 to 90% recovery on all in-kind basis. So that's good news. DCG looks like they're handing over the bag to Genesis, and Genesis is going to redistribute that to those who had money on the platform. This is just a headline, though. It's not confirmation that happened yet. So the shoe's still to drop. DOJ wants SBF proposed expert witnesses barred from testifying at the FTX trial. The defendant's proposed experts and accompanying disclosures suffer from an array of deficiencies that warrant preclusion of all 7 witnesses, says the DOJ. So that's not a good look. If you're SBF, yet again, getting some strikes against you, trying to get through these trials and everything. And there is one more story really quick. Crypto and AI need global regulation, says India's Prime Minister, I believe, Narendra Modi, will preside over this year's G20 summit in New Delhi. So looks like crypto might be on the agenda there for that summit, that G20 summit. So it could be important. Global regulation. Probably it's a global currency. So it's interesting. There's also one more. Tim, do you have any thoughts on? There's one more thing to show, but did you have any thoughts on any of those? The DCG giving money to Genesis, the Trade Act, or the SBF headline?
Not necessarily. No, I think no, not at this time. No.
All right. I appreciate that response. Sounds like you're in the SBF trials there. Not at this time. I do not recall.
Not at this time.
Bitcoin realized cap 8 hodl waves, 14 moving average. This one comes to us. It was a retweet from Caleb Franson, but it's from James V. Stratton. So seems like a cool guy making some good posts here. But you can see here, definitely some optimism kind of growing here as those realized hodlers, the whales or something like that, continues to grow. So early signs of the halving all going according to plan, all going according to what has led to, the face melting gains of yesteryear, of past halving years. So things are looking good on that front.
This is the time, guys. This is the time where there's not a lot happening. The price action is telling the whole story. Nothing is happening. So most news stories right now are just noise, trying to FOMO or FUD or FOMO or FUD or FOMO or FUD. There is a lot of development. I mean, even this stuff, like we're seeing the world come at the concept of digital currency and saying this is a major asset. The problem is watch this next cycle. The decentralized ones will stay, and I hope that's where everyone gravitates towards. But companies and governments and entities are realizing that this digital currency thing is cool. I mean, for lack of a better way to put it, it's cool stuff. And look at what we could do with all this. Now, that doesn't mean they want the decentralized portion of it. They want the full control still, but this digital money where people don't have to wait days for actual transactions to happen, and we don't have to wait on this and that, and we can have full control of supply, and then we can help, promote and do sponsors and do all this stuff to increase demand. This is cool stuff. So continue to be vigilant in looking for the scams versus the real things. And I'm not even necessarily, just so you guys know, I am definitely a fan of the decentralized currencies that take trust out of the equation. That's why I like Bitcoin. That's why I like Cardano. It's why some other coins that I still think are going to do very well are a little bit sliding down in my book of being good coins, is because the whole concept of being decentralized is that the word trust just gets to be removed from the equation. I don't have to trust, is this actually valuable? Is it actually going to happen? Because it's a trustless system. You guys don't realize that every single day, if you're operating in anywhere on planet Earth using currency that is from the government, you are trusting at every moment that the government is doing something correctly, that your bank is doing something correctly. You don't even realize that you're trusting, but it's all about trust. Versus cryptocurrency, decentralized cryptocurrency is all about making sure that you don't even have to think about it. Now, that being said, there will be lots of tokens that are centralized that are going to be great tokens. They're going to bring you a lot of value. They're going to be very useful. Being centralized will allow them to do things faster and easier than possibly some of the decentralized coins. But trust will have to be in the equation. So you need to do your research. You need to know who is the person you are trusting, who is the entity you are trusting with your information, with your store of value, to make sure you are not setting yourself up for failure. But I think if we preach and say, oh, if it's centralized, stay away from it. Like, well, no, like there's lots of money to be made in centralized entities. Just make sure they're ones you can actually trust.
Yeesh. Yeah. Do you want to get into some stocks? We got a little bit of time here.
Yeah.
Oh, I never put
Well, we can do stocks. We got like 10 minutes here. We can also engage with chat here just a little bit.
Yeah, let me cover a
Let's
couple
see.
stocks. You see what's
Yeah, do it.
what's rocking on down there. Looks like Crypto Vet in the chat. That's pretty cool.
Love crypto.
Yeah, taking a look here, guys. This is a name that I am looking to buy. I mean, on the monthly chart here, you can see zooming out. This baby really only goes up. It's a defense contractor, Booz Allen Hamilton, and I believe they do a lot of AI for defense. I believe, Army, if you're in the chat, maybe you could correct me. But they've got a nice little pullback here. If I go to the daily chart, you can see that they've had a little bit of a pullback, and that's kind of what I've been waiting for. Now they've kind of maybe confirmed a bottom. Obviously, I'm not saying that they have, but a couple of these indicators certainly are showing that that's a possibility here on the daily chart. So Booz Allen, ticker BAH, which if you've been in the military, that's kind of an ironic ticker. All right, moving along, you can see here on kind of here, you see mainly green on the screen here for your mega cap tech stocks. Oracle leading higher here, up 2.2%. Meta and Microsoft both in the red, but only modestly so. Taking a look here at the indexes, you can see green across the screen with the NASDAQ leading. So, Tim, what do you see in there in the chat?
A couple good comments. It's Pashis. Pashis says, no, Tim, not today. Leave chat alone. And I listen. Thank you for that, Pashis. That is a good warning. I'm definitely gonna if I have an awkward pause, it's because I'm reading it before I read it out loud. But I do want to say really quickly, I've seen some comments in here that I'm not in love with and excited about, but everyone's going to do things in their own way. And I want you to know, if you have said something and it wasn't great, that doesn't mean I don't like you. That doesn't mean I have ill will towards you. I know you're processing all this crap at the same time the way I am, and you have less information to process it with. So I'm not angry at anybody. Please, Investing Bros is a community we want to uplift and encourage and build. And if you had stuff deleted, it's just because we want to continue to foster that. We don't want to. I tell the mods, by the way, guys. I tell all the mods everything we can do not to ban a single person on this channel. And there have been people that have had to be banned. But I first want people being given warnings. Hey, this is not what this community is about. I want people's message just deleted, not even timed out. Hey, message again. Just try again. You failed with that message. Let's try again. If they continue to do something, it's like, hey, time them out. Hey guys, you need a timeout for a second. You need to think about what you're typing into your keyboard. And if it continues to be a toxic space, then yes, banning is going to have to happen. But we are about community. So I want to read some of it. Crypto Set Guy, which you guys know we always like to have fun with Crypto Set Guy, says, Tim, your wife said Florida State in chat. Yes, I know. Listen, love is about looking over people's faults and continuing to love them through it. And my wife is an FSU fan. And we deal with that every day. And we take it one day at a time. And there's healing still processing there too. And I don't mean to. I realize, like, I'm not trying to belittle this. It's a funny thing about football. You guys know I love football. I love my wife. We, don't love Florida State, but I wish them the best. What else do we have here in chat? Eric Wallen saying having equals synchronized and aligned financial human behavior for the benefit of all participants. Love it. Let's see. What else do we have here in chat? Okay, Jack. I don't think Jack Me Off. Where is Jack Me Offer been? I miss him.
No.
I don't think anyone banned him.
I saw something in chat that was an interesting question. So people who have bought like NFTs or like even Bitcoin, what do you think about that? Do you think that now is the time to take action on that?
Say that again. To NFT what?
Somebody said in the chat that apparently like HitNetwork and Bitboy channels have sold NFTs in the past. I don't know, this is news to me, but what would you do if you owned an NFT for one of those?
I mean, the first thing, I'm not an NFT guy, so take that with the first level of, should you listen to Tim about advice for NFTs? Probably not. I'm self going to proclaim I'm not an NFT guy, not an NFT expert. Don't fully get the space just yet. I appreciate aspects of it. I love the smart contract aspect. I cannot wait for when a lot of legal stuff is done in smart contracts using NFT type of technology. I love tickets. I love the fact that people are doing tickets and different things in NFTs. I don't get the art portions. So I do think that HitNetwork and Bitboy and everything have done NFTs. I don't know though, guys. Like, and to be honest, here's another thing. Let's say I did have a good idea about the value of them. I'm not going to say anything about that. I'm not going to say positive or negative. But I'm going to be honest, I don't know positive or negative. In fact, I don't know where those NFTs are sold right now. I don't know anything. So do whatever you want. I mean, it's all up to you guys. I don't own any, probably won't own any, and have no idea what that's even for.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, yep.
Dang. Booz Allen Hamilton has a 14.9% dividend, and their stock price is pretty high as well.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
$114 per share, and their dividends 14%. That can't be right. Sorry, disregard. Robinhood says the dividend's 1.56, but there's a tweet that says 14. Oh, 3-year average annual dividend growth 15 or 14. Okay, so that's a different metric. There's also some news from Ginkgo Bioworks, ticker DNA. They just signed a partnership with Google Cloud. They're up 20% on the news, which is nice to see.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's one I've been shouting out for a little while. It's a genomics company. But yeah, as we kind of close, thanks you guys for tuning in yesterday. I had a lot of fun flying solo. That was only supposed to be a 15-minute stream, but I love doing this. You know, so I just kept the ball rolling.
You did great. Yeah, we're gonna close out a little earlier today, guys. Again, I'm hoping. I think reality tomorrow should be a normal show with a normal flow of show and everything else. But it wasn't time today yet to get back into that. And there was some stuff that just need to be said. So thank you to everyone for coming here, supporting. And by the way, like I'm seeing in chat, like people still mentioning it. One of the reasons I also mentioned Jeb today, again, it had to do with some things in his past, but go support Jeb. Go, I think I think he was sick yesterday. I think that's why he wasn't able to do his morning show, but go watch his morning show. He goes live at 10. There's also Kelly Kellum does their live. That's what sucks. I have so many friends and people I love that do shows at the same time. Go support everybody. And again, I would love to have it. So look forward to potentially maybe even having Jeb come on the channel here soon if he's able to afford the time to do so. So with that said, though, guys, that's all we have for you in today's show. We love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Adios.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.